What's up, fellas? It's the fourth day of Vlogmas, and it's time for another sit-down video. Haven't done one of these in a while, so I felt today was the day to talk about something that has been on my mind for a while now, but I haven't had the chance to do it. To start off, today we are talking about body image. To give a little background, body image is probably the #1 thing that I've struggled with in college. And if you guys have seen my video that I talked about the things that I've struggled with as a D1 athlete, that is probably the biggest one on there. I've been struggling with it for years, but definitely the most prominent year was my sophomore year in college. It got to a point where it was affecting my day-to-day life, and it was affecting some of my performances. Overall, I don't think it affected me to the level where, honestly, like the severity of it should have. As the year progressed, at some of the bigger meets, the ones where I wouldn't perform as well as I thought I should have, was 90% chance it was because of body image, not that I didn't feel well that day. So it was kind of at that point where I knew things, needed to change. Starting from the beginning, over my entire life, I've never been, super happy with the way I've looked. And in college, this was elevated. And I don't know if it was because, of the level I was running at, or in high school, I didn't have these problems. I think just once you get to, the level of Division I, running or athletics in general, people are just generally really fit. I just started thinking to myself that I had to look a certain way or look a certain way in the uniform to, perform at the level that I should have, I guess, in whatever D1 athletics. So especially my sophomore year, I began to have these thoughts that I didn't look good enough and I couldn't compete at this level because it just didn't matter because I didn't look a certain way in a uniform. And I just remember every time putting on the Oregon uniform, I would be so ashamed of myself. I'd be so embarrassed and so self-conscious to the point where I didn't even want to run anymore. And that's so sad because although, being fit is like a certain part of athletics and competing at the collegiate level, but it got to the point where, I felt like I couldn't even compete anymore at that level, that's when I knew it was a problem. I had this mirror my sophomore year in my room. I know this mirror was distorted, and looking back, I still can't admit that it was distorted. It was like a $5 mirror from Walmart, I don't know. And my roommates, no matter how many times they told me like, dude, you look fine, like that mirror's so bad. I don't know why I never threw it out also. That was so dumb, but I guess I just didn't want to get another mirror. And no matter how many times people told me I looked okay, there's always something in the back of my mind that told me that I was not fit enough or I didn't look good enough. If you don't go through like body image struggles, it's really hard to explain like your thought process because it's so irrational, but for some reason it's not going away and you still think these thoughts. And I know obviously everyone is their own worst critic, and I knew my views were distorted on myself, but I just couldn't get past it and I couldn't look past these thoughts, and I just kept accepting them and kept believing in them for some reason. The thing at this point in my life, I would say, from the end of sophomore year to the beginning of junior year, so that summer, I hit rock bottom. I realized, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep thinking this way. This is miserable. It's consuming my life. Every time I looked in the mirror, I would be so disappointed in myself for some reason, or so ashamed of the way I looked. And I just knew that I just hit this point where I just couldn't do it anymore. I was tired of being miserable. I was tired of looking at myself in some negative spotlight. The one word I have that helped me get over this was acceptance. And I just got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm done living this way. I'm done talking down to myself, expecting things from myself that I know aren't gonna happen, expecting to look a certain way that it's not gonna happen. So I'm just done. I can't do this anymore. This is miserable. I just, began every day waking up, looking at myself in the mirror and just being like, okay, this is what we're working with today. And just going from there. And just being proud of like what my body has done for me and what it does for me every single day. Like, it allows me to run. I'm not very injury prone, so I can run almost every day of the year without trouble, and that's just amazing in itself. So I would tell myself every day, like, I'm proud of who I am, I'm proud of the way I look. Like, you just kind of have to talk it into existence. Like, even if you may not believe it at first, if you would tell yourself like, I'm proud of myself and who I am and the way I look, it honestly comes. The negative thoughts just began to, diminish, and though I would still have them, like, obviously I'm not perfect. It's been over a year now and I still have these thoughts every day, but the difference is that I just don't acknowledge them as true anymore. And though I may wake up and I think to myself, oh man, yuck, if I look at myself in the mirror, I just don't even think about that thought, and I just kind of toss it away and then just move on with my day, rather than, you know, continuing to think about it or letting my mindset be influenced by that irrational thought that really does not matter. It's only how you perceive yourself. So, and once I got to that place of acceptance, I just refused to sacrifice my happiness and, you know, my self-worth for some weird image that I had that I wanted to, you know, achieve. And I kind of realized that, you know, you don't need to look a certain way to run your best. Even when I, you know, was feeling really bad about myself, I was still PRing, and it didn't even matter. Like, I don't know why it affected me so much, because I was still performing pretty well. But once I let go of this thought of this ideal fitness Emma that I wanted to achieve, is when I became happier and way more confident in myself than I ever would have been. And I think the biggest difference between sophomore year and now in college is that I just don't care. I don't care about, you know, what I look like or how my uniform, you know, fits me compared to someone else on the starting line. And it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, and it doesn't affect your self-worth. Your outer image does not affect your abilities as a runner. It's how you feel on the inside. And for me, running is such a mental sport that when I am confident in myself, I will run 100 times better than, you know, if I had looked a little better in a uniform. Once I just adopted this mindset of acceptance of myself is when, you know, these thoughts start to, you know, diminish, and I don't really even recognize them that much anymore. I am definitely not perfect though. I have these thoughts, you know, every day. These thoughts just don't affect the way I live or the way, you know, I view myself. The thing I didn't do enough, you know, my sophomore year was talking to other people about it. And, you know, I don't really like to bring up my problems, and I think what I've gotten better at over time is finding comfort in talking about my problems to other people. Like this summer when I was really struggling, again, with body image, I would talk to my sister about it, and she would help me. Although it's nice to have a support system that you can lean on, it's really your mindset that you have to change, so I know. But having my sister there really did help me find comfort and just let the time pass. And I knew it would come over time. So I really recommend finding someone that you can talk to about it, whether that be a parent or just a friend or a sibling. I think a lot of people do struggle with this problem, so they would definitely be able to talk to you about it. And even if they don't deal with this, it's just nice to have someone there for comfort. All in all, especially in athletics, I know a ton of people struggle with this problem, especially females. I'm just here to say, you know, you're not alone, and it shouldn't be taboo to talk about it, because if so many people go through it, why is no one talking about it? And though I think issues have been, you know, brought up more and more over time, I don't think that there's enough talk about it overall in the running in general, or in even just female sports overall. And I know that the way I was feeling sophomore year, I would have really liked more and more people to come out and talk about it, because that would help me, you know, feel more comfortable with my struggles and know that other people are going through the same things as I am. So I hope this video helped any of you, or, you know, just acknowledge that someone else is going through the same problem as you. And the number one word I have to take away from this video is acceptance. So stare at yourself in the mirror every day, accept who you are, and roll with it. That sounds so simple, and I know it's so hard. Obviously, personally, I've gone through it, so I know how hard it can be, but over time, it does get better. So that is Vlogmas Day 4 for you guys. Thank you guys for watching another one of my videos. If you like these sit-down videos, make sure to give the video a thumbs up so that I know to do more sit-down videos. And if you have any recommendations of anything you'd like to see me talk about, leave it in the comments below right now. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe right now so that you can be updated on when I upload a video. And as you guys know, obviously, it's 12 days of Vlogmas, so I'm vlogging every other day. So keep checking back for these videos every other day, and I'll be here. Thank you guys for tuning in to day 4 of Vlogmas, and I will see you in day 5. Peace out, boys.